Hi everyone, welcome to Embracing Marketing Mistakes. So today we've got one of our mini episodes called Campaign Crunch, and I'm joined by my not so usual, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? My special guest co-host, are you happy with that?
Yep.
Vicky Murphy.
Whatever you say. Hi.
So this week we have got our very own Sadie on the show, who's going to talk to us about a very interesting health and fitness campaign from Joe Wicks, isn't it?
Yeah, Joe Wicks. So he's got a company called The Body Coach, and that he basically did a campaign this year called the Movement Hour, which encouraged employers to get each of their employees to have an extra hour off work every day to go take part in some movement. So
every day?
Every day.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's quite a big ask. Is that in addition to lunch breaks?
In addition to a lunch break. So he was basically calling on people to not have a lunch at their desk, have a full hour out for lunch, and also between 3 and 4, go and have an hour to go on a walk or do a workout. Obviously, the Body Coach sell nutrition plans and fitness plans anyway, and they give out weekly workout videos. But so one of those was focused around the movement hour. But that's what he was kind of trying to promote, which I thought was quite interesting.
Well, we'll dive into the campaign in a moment, the specifics. So my first question was going to be, what's his objective? Is it a purely clearly it's not a purely selfless ask, is it? I mean,
no.
So he's trying to kind of cross-sell his content and cross-sell.
Yeah, I think so. And something else that I thought was quite interesting was that in December, he was in the news a lot saying that he would be interested in being like the health secretary role.
Oh.
In the government.
Also, there's a possible...
Or a health minister, yeah.
Right.
Political move.
Yeah.
So
I thought
essentially it's about awareness and about engagement with his content and his products and services. So, okay, let's break it down then. So he's asking employers to give an hour a day.
Yeah.
Every day
throughout March
so
was like
for a month.
For the month was the first. Right. It was the first initial movement.
I was thinking, God, I'm going to get some emails after this.
That was the first initial movement, and it was to hope that people would see a difference pretty much straight away, and then from there it would be like kind of brought out more long term. But it's part of the Body Coach, which is his company. All employees have Monday to Thursday, no extra hours, just Monday to Thursday hours. And then they have an extra hour a day on top of that. So it started off what he does at the Body Coach, and then it moved on to what he wanted to do for over 600 other companies, which took the pledge.
He has lunch break at his company, Body Coach, and then 1 hour, 3 till 4 every day where you exercise.
And they don't work Fridays. We should go
Sign me
and work
up.
for Joe Wicks.
Easy life.
Is Joe Wicks still relevant? So I know during lockdown he was, in everyone's living rooms doing the workout, wasn't he? And everyone was talking about him. And then I felt like there was a little bit of backlash when he basically took his kids to LA, took them out. Didn't he pull them out of school and basically say, we're going to go and live in LA? And everyone thought, you're just living in a dream world. You're not one of us. So is he still kind of much loved and relevant?
I think he is. From looking at like the social content and the comments that he gets on socials, he is definitely still relevant. But I do see every year it gets around this time, and it's around the time of it's the anniversary of lockdown this year. It's been 5 years of lockdown around that March time, and that's when he started those PE lessons, and that obviously blew up. And I feel like each year from that they're trying to reincarnate this thing again, and it's just not really hitting as much as the PE hour did.
He's brought out a new cookbook as well, hasn't he? All around protein.
Yeah,
I almost feel like he's trying to inhabit a sort of Jamie Oliver campaigning.
He's actually done a lot with Jamie Oliver, actually. Yeah, so I think maybe something to do with the cookbook. It might be in cooperation with him, but on his socials they're like collaborating a lot.
Interesting.
So yeah.
So let's dive back into the campaign then. So how did he sort of launch this, and how did he? Presumably he was trying to engage with business owners or business decision makers, was he?
Yeah. So there was obviously a lot of press around it. The Times picked it up. A lot of like trade news for like employability picked it up, which I thought was quite interesting. And then it was just on socials and on the website. They had a pledge. So once you entered into this pledge, you got some downloadable assets for social, and then you also got a chance to have a visit from Pete Wicks. Oh. So the original call out for this got 10,000 applications for like workplaces to get a personal visit from Pete Wicks.
But only 600 companies signed up to actually give their staff the extra hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. And Is that a success or a failure? How would you analyse that?
I think that's probably a bit of a failure. We haven't got the most recent stats about how many people actually did do the pledge and how many people continued it past March. But yeah, I think it's a little bit of a fail because I don't see many people kind of implementing this. Although I feel like nowadays wellness initiatives in general in the workplace are so much more common and they're so much more important and they're prioritised compared to maybe a couple of years ago when people were just prioritising going out for a drink.
I wonder whether, because that's taking it probably from one extreme to a totally other extreme, isn't it? An hour a day. Like for a lot of companies, that's quite a big hit financially.
It's prohibitive, isn't it? And actually, I feel, I don't want to be overly critical with this campaign, but how much was it down to the fact that Pete Wicks and Joe Wicks? Do you say Pete Wicks?
It's Joe Wicks.
Oh, you said a visit from Pete. You said a visit.
Oh
from
no,
Pete
I
Wicks.
meant Joe Wicks.
Right,
Sorry, that was on me. Well, did I say that?
Yeah.
Pete Wicks from Towie.
Yeah. I was like, I was going to ask why the fuck.
Why is he involved? I don't know.
That can be the fuck up of the year. So I wonder how much Joe Wicks's involvement has catapulted this into the media, as opposed to it actually being a clever, interesting initiative. A few years ago, we worked with a bed company called Sealy, and we did a campaign about the financial impact that lack of sleep is costing employers. And we worked out that, it's something like, 6 out of 10 staff members are turning up for work at least once a week, exhausted, and it's impacting their work. And we worked out it's possibly costing the economy trillions of pounds. And we did a bit of an outreach campaign to businesses to sign up to a load of kind of sleep-related resources and stuff. And I'm sure we got more than 600 respondents from that. So I almost feel like it's not a particularly new campaign angle,
but
is
it is quite a big commitment from the employer's point of view. I think because as our resident wellness expert,
I was going to say that segues perfectly into what Sadie's doing
so
for
we
Prohibition.
obviously. You deal with all our wellness activity, and we usually have a focus once or twice a month on a specific wellness activity that the team will get involved in.
Yeah.
But a couple of weeks ago, you ran a Pilates session for us.
Yeah.
You are qualified.
I am qualified,
You can give your handle a plug if you like.
Well, it's just, my normal Instagram at Sadie Straw, but yeah.
But we went as a team, and I had such a pep in my step after that session. I do think, that afternoon kind of slump, that bit of exercise in the day, you come back and you are ready to get back to work, but you just feel more energized.
It's all to do with the endorphins, isn't it?
Yeah.
And everyone feels that after at least an hour of exercise, that kind of get up and ready to go. You feel that sense of achievement and
great team building as well.
Yeah,
And
we
the
all have a
endorphins
laugh.
are real, aren't they?
So real.
When I've been for a lunchtime run, I just feel in a sense of zen all afternoon, as opposed to stressed out.
So I do understand why, this kind of wellness has such an impact, this focus on wellness has such an impact on people's work-life balance, mental health. But for me, that campaign went.
What could he have done differently then, do you think? Because, campaign crunches and it doesn't have to be an analysis of wildly successful campaigns. I think it's quite useful to kind of dive in and look at how campaigns could have been run differently.
I think it would have been interesting to see sort of any case studies of it actually really making a proper difference. So it had that kind of tangible stat to say, yeah, this is really working. Some of the companies that signed up was Lad Bible, Boots, the London Fire Brigade. So there was quite big names going and pledging. But I feel if to make it a bit better, I also think March is Move It in March, classic Move It in March. We did that initiative here. And it is quite oversaturated in terms of everyone saying we're doing walking this March and that kind of thing. So maybe if they did it in summer where people are more inclined to be outside anyway, it could have been a more natural fit that people are kind of wanting to do it. But I do think an hour a day, every day, people might want to people do their own things. I think it's a huge commitment.
It would have possibly been more interesting if it was about micro adjustments you can make. So things like taking the stairs, getting off the bus one stop before your normal bus stop. There's micro adjustments which actually add no time really, but add up to 10 or 15,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
What about UGC then? So for me, I would have thought, right, these great I know there's only 600 companies signing up, but there's some great companies there. Did they leverage the UGC of the companies doing this kind of challenge?
Not necessarily that I've seen. I mean, like a classic company, a strategy is they put a blog on the website saying we've done this, couple of pictures, that kind of thing. So I did see quite a bit of that, but there wasn't massive like shouting about it, like no kind of campaigns which coincided with this campaign. So
did he set up his own a separate social channel for this campaign, or
No.
it was just part of Joe Wicks?
Just part of his like normal channel, and there was only one post about it on his channel. I thought there'd maybe be a bit more shouting about that.
Yeah, for me, this is about storytelling, isn't it? And, having, let's say, a branded hashtag, maybe even putting some paid spend behind those companies, shouting about their own initiatives. It's, in the way that, so a brand I always quote to clients is Farrow & Ball, and they've got a branded hashtag where they show people's home interior projects, their room transformations. And they've got this kind of dynamic feed on their homepage of all these amazing aspirational kind of home, renovation projects. So I feel like there could have been more of a UGC piece, because if you get that right, it starts to become much bigger than the sum of its parts, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I think there was maybe not enough of a focus on the lunchtime hour. Like that is something that all companies do, most companies do anyway, give it like a full dedicated hour to lunch. But a lot of people will find themselves having a sandwich at their desk. And I think that could have been really easily utilised as like, get outside, like do something with that hour. It doesn't have to just be sat looking at a laptop when you're doing that for 8 hours a day anyway.
We did a campaign once called Lunch al Desco, which was all about that kind of the sad sandwiches that you have at your lunch rather than going out. Another observation then, so you touched on it earlier, the kind of the tangible benefits of employers doing this. So there must be some sort of productivity gains of company. If you've got, like you said, everyone kind of bounded back into the office, didn't they, after Sadie's outstanding 10 out of 10, 5-star Pilates masterclass.
Sadie Straw.
Bookings are available.
Was there any infographics or like?
Yeah. So did they go into that, because that feels like a big opportunity as well?
No, but I mean, Joe did a tour up and down the UK, which visited the different workplaces, and throughout doing that, he said that he'd noticed some things. There was like they had a videography team that went around with them, so they had some nice assets with that. But there wasn't anything like hard stats. There wasn't anything to definitely say this works so well. But obviously, we know firsthand that it does, but maybe not all companies understand that.
Yeah, it feels like a really nice campaign. It's worthy. It's not overly commercial. It's got someone super famous, Pete Wicks, behind it.
Unless they're using that as a tester, and next year they go with case studies, they go with the stats around productivity increase, etc.
Yeah, that's
and
a
they
good
go
point.
full steam ahead for March next year.
Because it feels anecdotal at best, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We need the kind of the but why, and if we can land on that kind of tangible benefit of doing it, productivity gains, happiness, more engagement, whatever it might be, less illness. In fact, we should do it more often, shouldn't we? We'll do it every week, all right?
Okay, fine.
Don't have to see ya. 3 p.m, Sadie.
Yeah, interesting. So what is there a phase 2 of it or anything, or is it
Not that we know of at the minute, but obviously I think it probably will come round in next year, like as we've seen with Joe Wicks, not Pete Wicks. Every year he's trying to bring something out to try and replicate this PE hour thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back next year and they might have a bit more to stand behind it and make it a bit more tangible.
It almost feels like he's on the back foot trying to kind of recreate this, because he really kind of captured the zeitgeist, didn't he? During and he absolutely flew, and he's sort of. I mean, Jamie Oliver doesn't tend to struggle with it, does he? He always manages to get, he did the Turkey Twizzlers campaign, but then since then he's landed on 2 or 3 other big campaigning issues. Yeah, it's an interesting one.
But to be fair, probably the COVID hype around the workouts at home was a one-off, wasn't it? It's not, you're not going to be able to replicate that. It was a standout moment for everyone, and people like Courtney Black blew up, he blew up. But obviously, we're hopefully never going to be in that situation.
It's like Zoom socialising. I don't know if anyone remembers doing that. It was
Zoom quizzes.
We did our work Christmas party once. We sent everyone a bottle of champagne, and basically it was 30 people sat at home having our Christmas party, alone at home, shouting into a laptop, getting progressively drunker, and it was the most surreal thing.
That was good. Thank you, Sadie.
So, Sadie, you look worried by this.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what we're going to hear here. So, every episode of the podcast, it is called Embracing Marketing Mistakes, and we love to kind of embrace and celebrate the mistakes we make along the way. So can you think of a professional or personal fuck up that you've made in the last few years that you'd like to share with the class?
Honestly, how long have you got? I could literally be here all day, I think. But I think I try and learn from all of the mistakes, clearly. But probably one of the ones that really springs to mind is having, and I bet you guys have probably had this as well, where you've had two clients with the same name. Like two people clients, and they've both got the same name. And I just like had this other woman from a totally different company copied into a full email chain about a really sensitive campaign that wasn't live yet. That wasn't at this agency though.
Oh, there's no judgment here. No judgment here at all.
But yeah, that was one of those times I was like, oh no. And you just realise it, and it's maybe like 5 emails down. You're like, oh no.
A massively...
Did she not flag?
Yeah, she did.
Oh,
yeah.
After the 5th email, she flagged it.
Yeah.
After enjoying the email.
This is not for me.
While.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Well, yeah.
So
I didn't want to go
what's the
too
lesson?
hard. Always double check. I always double check everything that ever goes to a client now. Throughout, I will reread my emails at least twice just to double check.
Well, I mean, firing off quick emails is a dangerous game, isn't it?
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
Accidentally CCing someone in. I've actually got a confession in this respect. I was looped into an email thread with another agency, and we do play nicely with other agencies, by the way, but this was many, many years ago when sometimes agencies get a bit aggy, don't they, with other agencies. Anyway, this guy was a bit upset with the fact that we were dealing with their client. And I emailed the team. I'm trying to think why I did this. Anyway, I emailed the team saying, looks like I've upset this fucker. And then I immediately got a out of office back from this account director at this other agency. And I realised I'd actually sent it to him. And I was like, oh.
And nothing, because really,
well, I think he'd just gone on holiday for like a week. So I assume my email was just kind of deleted in the massive emails that get deleted when you come back from holiday. But, when you see that out of office, fuck, I've sent it to him. Looks like I've upset this fucker. Yeah, not good.
We've had a few of them. I remember when someone that used to work here thought she was replying to the team about a journalist response and called the journalist. It wasn't like a swear. It was like, oh, God, think of annoyed Georgie boy, but then sent it back to the journalist.
I've actually had that the other way around though, when a journalist has emailed like the business editor and they've emailed it and accidentally copied us in and they've said, here's a story for you. I don't really like it and I don't really give a shit if you publish it either way. Then I had to respond, hi, let me know if you need more information.
Would you like an image with that?
I think they ended up covering it as well, probably because they felt so bad. So thank you very much, Sadie.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.